we're going to try to get that fixed for you guys by the time you get in the air. So we're hoping that that's going to be the case, but just wanted to make you aware that you're only going to get the lowest 500 feet currently off the profiler data. Also, there's a model data outage on one of the main sites, so Ryan Carlton's site is down as well. That will be back up as soon as that website is updated. So until that point, we have to use other sources and that sort of thing, but we still have weather data for you this morning. Okay, latest information let's see here. Let's start at Sunport, temperature of 44 degrees, dew point 16, relative humidity 31%. The barometric pressure is on the rise at 30.09 inches of mercury. Visibility is 10 miles and clear, and let's see here, they're running a wind of 170 at 3 knots at Sunport. Up at Double Eagle, they have the drainage, and so they're much colder. Temperature of 32 degrees, dew point of 12, relative humidity 43%. Let's see here, visibility is unrestricted and sky conditions clear. Winds are 300 at 7 knots. So here's kind of what you're going to see this morning. In the near surface layer, I think we're going to have some light and variable conditions. And then once you get up to about, say, 300 to 500 or maybe even 600 feet, the winds will be out of the north. That's going to be that drainage that comes down. But I think the drainage in the near surface layer is going to be pretty light and shallow and probably somewhat variable. The most consistent in the drainage is going to be in that 300 to 600 foot range, and that's kind of where I expect the strongest north to south push, true north to south push. Then above that, I expect some sort of transition layer, and that's where it'll be variable. Some of the models even suggested that there might be a very, very weak box, but I don't think that that's going to be consistent for you. So I think there might be a few pilots that find it, but I think you're really going to have to search to find it. Otherwise, the general flow is going to be out of the west to northwest, so you'll have a layer there out of the northwest above that. And then once you get higher, then it's generally going to be out of the west or northwest. And then if you go high up towards the blue PZ, you'll get in that northwest to southeast flow. So the general progression is going to be from north to south this morning, but you might find some variations, especially in those transition layers that may bring you elsewhere. All right, so there's the pieball information. I'll put that back up here in a bit. So here's what we've got going on the large scale. We've got basically a very strong area of low pressure. That's tomorrow. Let's go back to today. All right, so we got a large area of low pressure across the center portion of the country, high pressure back to the west, and so that clockwise flow around the high is going to lead to weak northerly flow. In addition to that, we've had the cooling overnight, and you can see that Santa Fe is colder than us, so we are going to get some drainage, I expect. But you notice there's not a huge temperature differential there, only 7 degrees. So given that that's the case, I don't expect it to be overly strong. But we do have two forces working in tandem together. So given that that's the case, it could get a little brisk in that 300 to 700 foot layer, maybe up to like 6-7 miles an hour, but I don't think it'll be too strong for us this morning. Here at